Tamaulipas, Mexico. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez may not take Alex Jones's challenge to come down and see the wasteland and the demilitarized zone that is the Rio Grande Valley. But I'm here and this is where we roll. I got my Mexican mobile command vehicle and we're gonna shoot a few miles of traveling around right inside the border region. Because of all the cartel violence, it's really terrible what's happened to this area. Independent business people have been hurt, their fingers broken, their stuff taken. It's hard to run a restaurant when the bad guys come in and steal all your refrigerators and hurt the woman that's working there in her own business. So we're gonna explore that a little bit. In fact, I've got my auto part in my backpack here. I've got to go across the Rio Grande to the United States to get my auto part. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna get some spark plugs and we're gonna just film a little bit and see what's going on in the Rio Grande Valley. Hey, Pastor Sam, still in Reynosa, Tamaulipas, kind of the most dangerous city in the most dangerous state, in the most dangerous nation, pretty much in the world right now. Right here, there's a little bit of commerce because this is the center of town. But if you go very far in any direction, I'm not going to take Alex's challenge and go walk around in the scrub brush. In fact, I got to be really careful where I pull out my phone. Even record. You record a little bit, even in the grocery store, that security guard is there in 30 seconds. Every one of these shop windows has a steel cover that rolls down, and they roll those down at night. And that's here in the safest part, less than a mile from the border. You get further out, everything's broken, everything's stolen. This is what happens when you have thieves in charge. The cartels create their own government in a way. And they have a license to steal. So they just take whatever they want, including women, including violation of people, including kidnapping. It's very sad. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I don't think she's going to come here and see this as a utopia. This is an example of everything bad that socialism does. Now, Alex was talking today about Chinese invasion. Well, let's talk about the Mexican Secretary of the Interior, who just up until January was in office. This is Miguel Angel
Osorio Chong.
Miguel Angel Osorio Chong. You read his bio on Wikipedia. It says he's from Hidalgo. It says he's a Mexican. The Mexican people don't believe that. They believe that he's from China. And this is a very high office. This would roughly equate to the Director of Homeland Security over all of TSA. This man was over the federal police, what are called the polinegros, or the black police. And they are a little bit should-staffel looking, those black police. I've seen them, 20 years ago, they used to ride down the highway on matching brand new BMW motorcycles with full auto H&K MP5s slung on their back. It's a very powerful national police force. And the guy in charge of it, the Mexicans say he's Chinese and he's not even Mexican. Now, if that's the fact, it is illegal. All elected officials, he was beforehand the governor of Hidalgo State, all such elected officials have to be natural-born Mexicans by law. And this guy, the people around here, they say he's not Mexican. They say he's not Mexican. So yeah, this is a beautiful place. The people help one another. Let me tell you, they really don't have a fair chance, and they really don't have a fair shake because of the corruption that's gone on for all of these years, and because the criminal gangs have really been their own de facto government. So Alexandria, come on down here. Bring your jiu-jitsu fighter. You get $100,000 for your favorite charity. if I could donate that, let's put it to the African Children's Benevolence Foundation International, ACBFI, Pastor Kaiwa's organization. I don't have a jiu-jitsu fighter. I guess I have to be my own. That's all right. My jiu-jitsu's okay, I guess. You know, when I was a kid, I grew up in a karate school. Someone once said, "We don't have toys." The Mexican said, "We don't have toys," when I was a child. Let's go over here to the sign. Well, the fact is, I grew up in the karate school. My playmates were Jeremy Horn, among others, one of the greats of mixed fighting and MMA. We were young black belts together. He was my playmate, sparring partner, and I don't think anybody around here is going to give me the likes of a whooping like Jeremy Horn could and did. It was a mark of honor in my generation of the greats that beat us down, taught us our lessons, and ran us through our ruins. It's a beautiful place. But you see, nobody's here. This plaza is kind of abandoned. It's not safe. It's not safe. And if you go just a very short ways out of the city limits, right over here, the next town over, it's about 20 kilometers, there's a very beautiful church that I built. And I can't even go over there because there's roadblocks in the way, because factions of the Gulf cartel, their leaders have been killed by military shootouts and altercations and arrests. And so I can't even go over there because the factions are fighting and they have roadblocks set up. I send people over to visit here and there, to go preach, and they get stopped and shaken down. They'll take people's vehicles. It's happened before. It's not safe. So that's why this place is abandoned. And I hope for a better Mexico and a better America. Part of what AMLO wants to do, he's got his 16 cabinet members all picked out, and all of them are going about executing their socialist strategies of centralization, changing education, he wants to have a central bureau in Mexico City that all government purchases go through. So this city, Reynosa, this state, Tamaulipas, they would not be able to make their own purchases of a police car, of their equipment, of a light pole. All of it would go through Mexico City to a central Politburo where all accounting is kept. Anytime there's a centralization of power, this is a dissolution of our American ideals, and this is Russian model, Chinese model, socialism at work. And it doesn't matter which cabinet department you look at, all of them are trying to implement the socialist strategies that AMLO ran on. So it's not going to be good for America. He wants to really delete the border. He wants to make this whole border region a fronteriza, that is a free trade zone. A zona franco is his wording that's in his document, his letter that he wrote to Donald Trump. So he wants really to pull back the police forces that are here that fight drug trafficking, that fight importation of illegal currency, that fight human trafficking, which is an epidemic. He wants to remove all of that miles and miles back into Mexico. So basically, this will be more of a war zone than it already is. I want you to see these soldiers over my shoulder. Right there's the Mexican military, full automatic weapons, right over my shoulder. That's the first thing that you see when you walk across the bridge, is the Mexican military, Army or Marines, and or federal police, Polinegros, and they're ready for a fight. In Sicario and Sicario 2, this is where the most terrible gunfights happened. Just coming up here, we had to come under the bridge that's called the Bridge of the Dead, because there's been terrible shootouts and bodies hung from that bridge. Signs where the cartels say we're in charge here, politicians murdered, rival cartels murdered, shot down, just blood in the streets. It's in the newspaper almost every single day. This is what's happening here. This is the model of socialism, which is to this day advancing. I really hope that Mr. Trump will do something about that, that he'll bring forth a law and order candidate for the Mexican people, and that this border violence will not spread to the USA and spread further into Mexico. Because right here, the government is the drug cartel. Hey, Info Warriors, Pastor Sam here. God bless Texas. Here we are, back across. Right back there is the border facility over my shoulder. They don't like you using cameras in there or over the bridge. They don't want criminals casing the place to figure out how to better violate our border any worse than it already is. There's a tremendous improvement in morale amongst the Border Patrol. I feel like they do a good job of sticking to their duties, but they're happy to have a law and order president, and they're happy to have clear regulations about what policy they're supposed to implement. I feel like after years and years of unwritten rules, they're very happy to have somebody who says what they mean, means what they say, writes into law what they intend to do, gives them clear orders, and backs them up when they do it. And there's a lot of people coming across right now. They've got their card, they're going to work. I'm going into the parts store right here because the parts that I need are not available in Mexico. Not in this area, not in this green zone, which is the Reynosa, Rio Bravo, Matamoros war zone. You cannot get parts for your Japanese bike or anything like that. The cartels would just come in, pick out the bike they wanted, and just steal it. Stick their gun in the guy's face, say, I'm taking this. Well, all the dealerships close. Even material, home improvement places. There's a group called the Terra Nova, believe it's Terra Nova family. They used to own many, many, many stores that sold cars, everything for construction, block, concrete, etc., etc. Now they're down to only 1, 2, 3 stores. It's a shadow of its former self because of that kind of organized crime and theft. So thanks for coming along for the ride, Info Warriors. Appreciate you. Stay classy, and let's get our own law and order candidate as the president of Mexico. We'll have good neighbors.